Shalom, Israel. My name is Officer Kayad, one out of I.S.U.P.K, Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K is run by Commanding General Yahanna, the one man with the rank and the authority to lead Israel at this time. I say, Ya Awa Basham Yawashai Brakatam to my brothers. Ya Awa Shamar Alatan Basham Yawashai to my sisters. All right, so, you know what I mean? We're still on the topic of this cult pastor, you understand? And we're going to explain to you why these Christian churches, you know what I mean, are really dangerous in the fact that they have so much power over our people. You understand? Which is evident in what took place in this, you know what I mean, human sacrifice incident with Kevin Smith. You understand? All right, but we have a play a tape, you know what I mean? And this tape is a TVJ news, you know what I mean, report interviewing one of the young men who was there in the church at the time when the human sacrificing was taking place. And he basically gave us, you know what I mean, step by step detail on what took place. You know what I mean? And this is very, you know what I mean, it's not really surprising to me, you know what I mean, but it is very telling. You understand? It explains why your grandmother is so dedicated to the Christian pastors. You know what I mean? And would give him her last. You know what I mean? Even though she's poor. You understand? So without further ado, we're gonna jump straight into the tape.
We begin with a primetime news exclusive. An 18-year-old member of the Pathways International Ministries recalls how he was shot and injured as he attempted to leave the church on that fateful night on October 17. Kirk Wright has the details.
The young man, who was still visibly shaken when we saw him, says he remains in shock and disbelief. He did not want to show his face, but tells us Pastor Kevin Smith, who is now dead, had him and the other church members under a spell. On the night in question, he says Smith posted on his Facebook page that a tsunami was approaching and that all members should pack up and come to the ark, a reference to the church. The young man said he went to the church because he believed the pastor that the tsunami would kill everyone outside. He says inside, Smith became angry and began acting as if he was tormented.
He started a couple things and mash them up, mash up, he wind them round on it, mash up cheer, mash up everything. Mash up glass and all, cut up himself and a ball out in the church. And I say, oh, what is this, man? I wonder if I transfer me around there, transfer me in God now. I do your things around your mind now, see me? Then he walk and cuss and walk and say people turn them back on him and he come in the flesh and you don't realize him and all type of something. That's God. You don't realize him. So we do up on the ground and him walk and you see me? Come out something, he all walk away. He walk on him, up on the ground and he walk on him.
The young man says in spite of all that, he still saw Smith as a god and never lost respect for him. He says at this time, about 9 members were inside while others were outside clamoring to get inside the church.
Because some people could come on the property. People want to come in now. So they out there ball out, say, Your Majesty, let us in, we're going to die.
At one point inside the church, the young man recalled that the pastor gave instructions to a church member to kill another, saying he would bring him back to life. The member was stabbed in the back, and immediately after, the young man says Smith followed up by shooting him. The young man says a few minutes later, he saw the member that Smith had just shot back inside the church, begging him for help.
So, Mr. Corey, I walk and I say, Your Majesty, I got shot. Can you heal the pain?
He recalled another bizarre act by Pastor Smith, which led to the death of a man who had come to the church for healing. He says the man was sick and had some tubes in his chest.
So the pastor looked at him and say, Yo, do you believe that I am God? And the man said, Yes, I believe. Do you believe that I can resurrect you when you die? And the man said, Yes. So the pastor I say, All right. Pull out the chest over time on him. The man start bleed out on him. And the man start bleed out, the man take off his shirt, take off his pants, and Andre, and our next man, we don't know his name, So I can enough people there, see me, put him a ground and make him man bleed out. That time man is on the ground with black. Black man, black, slim and black. Bleed up on the ground, man. And him pastor say he must die. And I call it resurrect. Call it resurrect him again. Resurrect him again, you understand?
Following that, the young man says Smith gave him and another member knives, saying he was going to begin allowing the other members inside and that they should be killed. It was then, he says, Smith called Tanika, the late employee of appliance traders inside the church, and started questioning her.
And the pastor said, do you believe that I am God in the flesh? And she said, yes. And then the pastor said, do you believe that I can resurrect you again when you die? And the girl said, yes, isn't it? And then the pastor said to Andre, saying, go and kill her. But this girl is no mad small, you know, they are dead. Run for your life. Now my mind, no. Because if me did say it out loud, maybe that said sense, man, if you can't kill me instead. But tell us you are some type of foolish, brother.
What did she do after the pastor said that? Did she put up any resistance or she stood there waiting to be killed?
She hold up her hand. She hold up her hand and start bawling and say, God, you are God. That the man tell the man, say, my God, you know. You are God, you are God. She kneel down on her knee and the man just go and run out, just go and cut it. I see the man cut the woman throat. I say, John, really this a go on? The woman, the man just kill in front of me. I want me to look at me and say, yo, no, man. It's serious. All that time I priest if I go tap him. But if I go tap him, maybe me get shot or, you see me?
He says that sometime after 5 in the evening, members of the security forces arrived, but it took some time before they stormed the church. The young man said the police woman, who is a member of the church, was kneeling beside Smith, who then gave her instructions to take on members of the security forces who were outside.
And tell her, say, yo, go and go war police, then me give you power, you can't dead, go on. Say, policeman, get up. Because if give policeman a robe, you know, when a female robe, them put on you over her. So she feel mighty, you know, like so she can't dead. Say, policeman, walk like a robot a galang. But you know, you go fire no shot at all. You turn up one side, so you lean over.
Then he says Smith instructed another member of the church who lived at Smith's house to take up a knife and attack the police and soldiers.
The pastor tell him, say, go. No shot can kill you. You cannot die. You are immortal. Go and fight. You take up a long old knife, someone like a, you know, a Rambo knife. Take up a knife and run out by soldier and police. One shot fire, man, what, man? In past dead, man. About 15 shot in get.
The young man says he was shot while trying to flee the church compound in fear of his life. He says he ran towards the police in the dark who believed he was trying to attack him and was shot. He's refuting claims that they were all naked when the security.
All right, so you know what I mean, that is the power that these Christian pastors have over their member. You know what I mean? So when we tell you in the I.S.U.P.K. that it is a dangerous place to be in that Christian church, you understand? We are not exaggerating. You know what I mean? You are just left to the mercy of whichever pastor you are under in that Christian church. So if your pastor don't believe in human sacrifice but believe in child molestation, then that is what you are at mercy to. You understand? If your pastor don't believe in this but believe in that, that is what you are at mercy to. But the greatest, you know what I mean, thing about this is how much influence and how much power your Christian pastor have over you. All right, watch this now. Now I'll explain to you now why, you know what I mean, these people did what this pastor told them to do. You know what I mean? But we're going to jump to our next tape. You understand? Just bear with me for a second. We'll jump over to our next tape. And this is basically the explanation. You understand? So this is an Instagram video. You know what I mean? And this is a brother named Dr. Love interview somebody who knew the pastor when he was younger. You understand? And the person basically understand, you know what I mean, what takes place inside the church. So without further ado, let me just jump into the tape. You know what I mean? And then you have to understand why the pastor was able to get, you know what I mean, his members to basically give up them life. You understand? In the meanwhile, like the video, share. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Leave in the comments. You understand? You know the thing already.
Young, and he proclaimed himself to be a prophet.
Right.
And he was always hearing from God. For some reason, he said he was always hearing from God, but everything.
All right, I would need to be aware of that. You understand? Your Christian pastor is not hearing from God. You know what I mean? God is not speaking to your Christian pastor whatsoever. You understand? When somebody says they are hearing from God, it just means that they are hearing voices in their head. You understand? Because no angel of the Most High are, you know what I mean? The Most High never took them up another conversation with them. You understand? They think the Most High is some voice in their head when the Most High is not. The Most High is real. So if somebody is telling you that God tell them something in their mind, you're talking to a schizophrenic. You understand?
Thing that God told him was to kill people, or this stuff is gonna happen to you.
Right.
Everything was like doom and gloom for him.
Right.
It wasn't anything necessary good.
Right.
Everything was just, you know, and him collecting, offering late fees when you get to church. That's typically what he learned in Toronto. He learned it from all the bishops. So all the bishops here loved him because he was 14, 15, 17, and they groomed him.
All right, take note of that. You know what I mean? So the late fees and all them things that were in charge in members, he learned in Toronto. You understand? Other bishops who, you know what I mean, were a part of established churches over there, which he was also a bishop in that church, being over other churches. That's their tactic. They are the one that taught him these things. You understand? So for those who say that he's not a Christian pastor, rest assured he is. He was a part of an established church over there in Toronto. And they are the ones that taught him this tactic that he used out here and our people. You understand? Yeah, man, they groomed him. You understand?
And once he tried to sleep with my friend, who is a male, who is a boy, and we went to pastor with it. Pastor denied it. Then we went to the overseer. Overseer denies it. And they still had Kevin traveling all over preaching and ministering to people until his wife actually caught him with a man multiple times.
So this pastor was a homosexual and it was brought to his superiors and they did nothing about it. Just to show you that your churches don't have any kind of integrity. You understand? They are all homosexuals, all child molesters. Remember, they groomed him, you know. You understand? So, no more than them molest him too. You understand? Maybe that is where he learned his homosexual ways because he got molested by those bishops. You understand? We have moved to another point in this video just to show you and just to come to the point of why I did this video. You know what I mean? This is the reason why your Christian pastors have so much influence over you, your grandmother, your mother, your father. This is the reason. You know what I mean? We have to break it down.
Right.
On the man she really knew, or who knows if she's gonna come out. You get it? But Kevin is a person that does not respect women. He's always humiliate women, always. And for all these women to be talking about him like he's some god, he is not. What they use on you is, it's called conversational hypnosis.
Right.
So there are certain words that they say and they hypnotize you and they put you under spell. And that's how these preachers can get you to do certain things without you knowing. And that's how he could get these police officers to be shooting after other police officers, because they're hypnotized and they're under a spell.
All right, she says a spell, but you know what I mean? Conversation hypnosis is a real thing. You get what I say? Yeah, man. So we are gonna look up the definition of conversation hypnosis. You understand? And we are Google. This is the Google definition right now. See? This is what it says. Slakia. Conversation hypnosis. In reality, a skill hypnosis is able to induce trance and cause change through what is seemingly ordinary conversation. This is what we mean by conversation hypnosis. It's a science and a systematic method of putting people in a trance by just talking to them. You understand? This is what your pastors learn to do in those seminary colleges. You know what I mean? This is what your pastors learn to do. So when you go in front of that pastor in that Christian church and him talk this, you know what I mean, amazing ceremony, and you fall in love with it, you know what I mean? You were just hypnotized. He was not teaching from the Bible. He was not telling you, thus saith the Lord, and telling you that you must keep the laws of the Most High, because if you break them, that is what a sin is. He's just entrancing you with his words. That is what they learn. Let me give you another, you know what I mean, sources definition for conversation hypnosis. This is what it says. Conversational hypnosis is, in a nutshell, is the act of giving a subject unconscious mind subtle direction to take a particular action during a normal conversation. You know what I mean? And that is what your Christian pastors do. They hypnotize you with their words. You can't pay attention to how harsh we talk in the I.S.U.P.K. You know what I mean? We are men. We talk rough. You understand? Don't take our rough talking for, you know what I mean, we telling you something bad. You know what I mean? Because your Christian pastor is trained to tell you sweet words. Meanwhile, he's trying to rob you. You know what I mean? Your Christian pastor is just a regular scammer. You understand? But he scam you with his words. You understand? All right. So what we are going to do now, we are going to jump into the scripture as we do. You know what I mean? And this is the book of Galatians chapter 3 and 1. And this is what it says. Oh, foolish Galatians. Who are the Galatians? Those were the Israelites who were in Galatia at the time. You know what I mean? No different from the Israelites who are now in Jamaica right now. You understand? So this could be substituted of foolish Jamaicans. You understand? Continue reading. Who have bewitched you? Who have deceived you? Bewitched mean, you know what I mean? Is similar to deceived. So who have deceived you? You know what I mean? Who have used conversational hypnosis to hypnotize you in, you know what I mean, doing all these things for these Christian pastors. You understand? Who have done that? Continue reading. That ye should not obey the truth, that you should not listen to the men, the prophets here in the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general, Your Honor, who tell you that you are the children of Israel and you should not eat pork. You must not be a homosexual like Kevin Smith. You understand? Who tell you you must start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments because your life depends on it. Who have bewitched you that you must not listen to the truth that we tell you? Kevin Smith. That is who have bewitched you. Your Christian pastor in your church. That is who have bewitched you. Those Christian pastors that you watch on YouTube. They have bewitched you because them tell you nice things. They're so nice and the music is so nice. You are being hypnotized and you don't even realize. You understand? You are being manipulated and you don't even understand what is happening to you. You understand? Because you don't understand hypnosis. You get to me? I say, who have bewitched you? Those Christian pastors have bewitched you, and we will implore you again. You understand? The Most High is exposing the Christian church, you know. So it's just up to you if you want to take heed. You know what I mean? If somebody, right, was being exposed as much as the Christian church is being exposed, you would have lose off of that person a long time. But guess what? You are being hypnotized by the Christian church. So you will not let the Christian church go. You are bewitched. You understand? You're under a spell, so-called. You understand? So you will not let the Christian church go because you love the Christian church so much, even though it is a poison and a drug to your way of thinking. You understand? So we tell you again, come out of the Christian church, man. Come into the I.S.U.P.K, make we teach you the law, statutes, and commandments. Make we teach you, just say it the Most High, so that you can actually do the things that the Most High want you to do. Not sing and dance and skip and act the fool in the Christian church. You know what I mean? And calling another man God. You know what I mean? Going outside to face armed police officers with a knife. You understand? That is the power that your Christian church have over you. And just think about your grandmother. Think about your poor grandmother who have been going to church for so long, giving that pastor her money for so long, and she is poor. You know your grandmother is poor because you are the one that have to give your grandmother money. You understand? And that money that you give to your grandmother, she give to that grimy, disgusting Christian pastor. It's because she's hypnotized. And if that pastor ever tell your grandmother that you are Satan and you are evil, your grandmother will not talk to you, you know. That is the power that your Christian pastor have over your grandmother, your father, your sister, your brother, whoever is in that church. You understand? So come out of the Christian church, man. No, you don't have no excuse, you know. You don't have no excuse to stay right now. If you're still in a Christian church in this day and time, knowing that the truth has come out as to who the Bible was written to and by, Zane, and that God is not in the Christian church, if you're still inside of that Christian church, you just want to be a sinful person. And you just don't care about the Most High, you know, business. You don't want to learn, you want to stay with that. And if so be, you just die with the Christian church. Because God is coming to destroy the Christian church because it has been teaching his people lies for so long. You understand? So if you don't want to stay in another place there, you know what I mean? By all means, stay. Just know that that is a sinking ship. You understand? And with that, I say like the video. You know what I mean? Subscribe to the channel. Leave in the comments. You know what I mean? Whether you agree or disagree with me, you can talk. You understand? Leave in the comments in the comment section. If you have questions, ask no questions. You know what I mean? Pay on the tithes. Stop giving those thieves in the Christian church no money and making them rich. Give your tithes to Commanding General YAHANNA because he actually feeds black people, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. And with that, Shalom.